Hey, welcome to our class of Chad's BeerTube Academy. In this lesson, we're going to discuss what makes a great-looking BeerTube thumbnail. Everything you're about to hear is obviously my opinion. I don't claim to be an expert on YouTube's algorithm or SEO, but I have been doing this since 2008, so I've seen what works and what doesn't. And this class will consist of two parts. In the first part, I'll discuss thumbnail design theory, and in the second part, I'll show you how I actually design my thumbnails. Hopefully these videos will inspire you, and if they do, please let me know. So let's talk thumbnail design. There are a few critical elements that every BeerTube thumbnail should have. The first element is original intellectual property, or IP. You're probably going to show the beer can or bottle in the thumbnail so the viewer knows what the video is about. I know it's really tempting to just Google the beer you're reviewing and download the label, but I don't recommend doing this for two reasons. First of all, you're wading into a gray legal territory when it comes to fair use versus creating a derivative work. I'll give you an example of what I mean. I have here a bunch of beer can labels that I've saved over the years. I could just scan these and use them in the thumbnail for the reviews, but that would be considered a derivative work because I'm just capitalizing on someone else's IP. That's why I take a picture of the beer can or bottle with my man cave background. So even though the beer is the focal point of the thumbnail, the viewer can reasonably tell that the video and the channel are independent of the product. The thumbnail couldn't be mistaken as a representative of the original IP owner. Also, the fact that I have my channel logo in the thumbnail probably helps convey that, but we'll come back to that later. There are some exceptions to this rule. For example, if you're creating a collage so that no single image is the focal point of the thumbnail, like how I do with my Tuesday Night Beer School thumbnails. Another example might be for satire or parody purposes. In either case, your thumbnail should clearly be an original work as a whole, even if it samples someone else's IP, like how rappers sample other songs. The second element every BeerTube thumbnail should have is a well-designed look. An attractive, professional-looking thumbnail absolutely can get a new viewer to watch your video and subscribe to your channel. Obviously, well-designed is a subjective term, but since this is my class, I'm going to list what I consider to be the three essential components. Number one, whatever beer is being reviewed or discussed should be prominently displayed. Number two, text should be in large sans serif font in an opaque color with an outline and or shadow. And number three, include the name of your channel or a logo or caricature in every thumbnail. This is your branding after all. Now I could probably list another dozen do's and don'ts of thumbnail design, but there are already tons of videos discussing that. If you're not confident in your abilities to design a good thumbnail, I suggest watching some of these professionals. It's incredibly easy to make eye-catching thumbnails using your phone and even the most basic design software. Most modern phones have a feature that mimics the effect of an SLR camera called portrait mode. This is what I use to take pictures for my thumbnails, as it blurs the background and makes the beer stand out, and it creates a professional looking thumbnail. I use Microsoft PowerPoint to make the actual thumbnails. If you have Windows PC, this probably came with the operating system. There's also a program called OpenOffice, which has a very similar program called Impress, and it's free. So now I'm going to walk you through how I actually design my thumbnails, both new and old. So let's get to that. All right, so I'm going to show you how I do both new and old, me in the video, and then just picture the beer can and bottle or whatever. All right, so let's go over here. I already have the video editing software open, so I'm going to add media, and I'm going to pick something at random. Oh, how about Avery Maharaja? Haven't thought about that one in a while. All right, so I've got the software open. Oh, this is old. This is I must have been doing this kind of like as a throwback to myself when I first started doing it. So actually, this is not a great. This isn't great, but I can make this work. Usually, I like to hold the bottle up to the camera, and in this whole video, like the bottle's on the table. Now this is something that is a pet peeve of mine. I see a lot of other BeerTubers do this, where they're holding the bottle or the beer glass right up to the camera and it blocks their face. So don't block your face if you can. So I'm going to try to find, okay, I think that's pretty good right there. It's not blocking my face. You can sort of see the label for the most part. Maybe I can get a little bit closer. Yeah, I mean, it's closer, but it's kind of dark, but all right. All right, I will use this one here. So let's open my old beer thumbnails. This is the one that I did yesterday. So I'm just going to right click on here, duplicate slide, go back to number 1, click on the picture, delete that. Select all there, the Maharaja, and then underneath it in small letters, or like, you know, not all caps, Imperial IPA. So I'm going to make that a lot smaller. I'll pull this down here. Let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Yeah. That might be blocking. And it's from Avery Brewing Company. So I'm just going to say Avery Brewing. And it was 10, what did I say? 10.46. All right, so let's insert the screenshot. I saved it to the downloads folder. Where is it? Right here? Okay. And I'm just going to right click on here, send it back. And the only problem with this is that it's covering my face. But there isn't really much I can do about that. There's nothing else. The only other thing I could do is I can make it a whole lot smaller. Or at least try not to block my eyes. Alright, so maybe I'll just get rid of Imperial IPA and stick with the Maharaja. Yeah. Or I could do Imperial IPA, or I could put Deepa right here. That's an option. You know, let's just go with the Maharaja by Avery Brewing. The only problem is, like, this is like a really ugly color scheme. All right, so I usually what I do is, actually not usually, always what I do is the glow of around the name of the beer will match the color from the beer bottle. The only problem is, like, this is in like such shadow that you can't really see it. It's kind of like this ugly pine green. So I can just get it off of, you know, the color wheel on here. More colors. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's pretty good. That actually is that same color of green. You just can't really tell. And since it's an IPA, you know, it's kind of like a orange, amber, brownish color. Let's go with... actually, there is an orange built in. I'll probably just use that. All right, so we've got that. You can see how on my old videos, some of them I had the old Chad's Beer Reviews logo in the corner there, but the new one is blocking it, which is what I want. In fact, I can actually make this a little bit bigger and block it even more. All right, now I'm going to show you how I do a new beer one. So same process, right click on the top slide, duplicate slide. That way they all have the same, you know, template. Everything's still, I didn't have to move anything. And I'm going to do kind of like a phantom thumbnail for the Wayfinder Crow show that I did last night for the Tuesday Night Beer School. But I'll just show you how I would do it if I was reviewing it on its own. So you see there's two pictures, one with the blurred and one without. I always want the blurred background. And the only problem is when you take a picture in portrait mode is that it does it in 4:3. And we want the thumbnail to be 16:9. So what I do is I move it all the way to the bottom right corner. And then I grab the white circle in the top left corner up here, and I will just pull up until it's as wide. And then I will slowly pull it down. And what I do is I kind of go by the thumbnail, I guess you could call that here. You can see when I move it here, it moves there. I usually try to get the beer like to be flat on the bottom here. But I know that there's going to be text up here, and I don't want it to block the can. It can block the top of the glass, that's fine, but I don't really want it to block the can. All right, so I think I have it where I want it. I'm going to right-click there, send to back. Now this is called Crow Show, and I'm just going to put London Porter as the subtitle, because it does say that right there. So I'm going to make this smaller, and I want to make this a lot bigger. In fact, we probably get like 115 on that. All right, so let's move that up a little. It's starting to go off the top, the edge. I'm going to pull that down a little. I'm going to pull the picture down a little. All right, so now you can see the London Porter is not blocking like the label. And I'm just going to move this down another pixel or two. All right, there we go. Now the shade of red is almost the exact same. Maybe it is the same shade, but I'm still going to do what I would normally do. So right click, text effects, glow, more glow colors, get the eyedropper, and just gonna search around for like which color red is that color. It's almost like an orangish red. I guess got to change this. It was from Wayfinder Beer. I think they're Wayfinder Beer Co., not Wayfinder Brewing. And that was 5.5 ABV. And actually, what's easy for porters and stouts is all I have to do is just do black as a glow color. I mean, I could do the eyedropper, but I'm just going to grab black. All right, so that's how I make thumbnails. It was pretty easy, right? I mean, it's really not that difficult. Once you have a template on PowerPoint, you know, it's just a matter of just changing the text and just changing the picture and then, you know, tweaking the colors and things like that. But, you know, you can make a good thumbnail in less than 5 minutes or so, at least the way that I do it. But some of the other people that you saw in this video and like in the thumbnail for this video, like have even, you know, better, more highly designed thumbnails than me. So, you know, good thumbnail will bring in new viewers, bring in new subscribers. And, you know, it's just the difference between a, you know, average looking channel and a better looking channel, at least in my opinion. All right, so that is all for this lesson. If you watch all the way in, you are awesome. Thanks for watching, and I think that's it for this course, but maybe I'll have another class on everything that I forgot, so be sure to come back for that one. I will see you then. Bye.